you go. You see a whale? Look. Welcome back to Boyson's Gone Wild. Today Jesse and I are going to be showing you Robberg, which is one of South Africa's most iconic hikes for sure. So stick around if you want to learn a couple things about the peninsula itself and also see what Jesse and I think of Robberg as a hike. So this first viewpoint we're going to is as you come into the gates at Robberg, you see a sign on your left that says São Gonçalo. You'll go up there and it gives you a very nice view of Plet itself and the bay. So even though there's not much more information at the viewpoint, the name São Gonçalo actually refers to a very interesting event in history. Way back in 1630, a Portuguese ship coming past the bay from India actually got overwhelmed by a storm while doing repairs in the bay, and basically 100 sailors got marooned in the Pisang Valley, which is in Plet itself. And this could actually be one of the very first times that European people lived on the African continent for a long period of time. This was about 8 months that they lived there. They actually built a church. They built a beacon to say that this is where the ship, the São Gonçalo, was stranded. They also managed to construct 2 smaller rafts that would get them back into the open ocean again. And they were actually eventually picked up by 2 ships coming by the bay on the way back home to Portugal. Unfortunately for a lot of the sailors, the story doesn't end there, because as one of the ships entered the Lisbon harbour within sight of home, it actually sank, and unfortunately everybody on board drowned. And I see this as probably one of the most tragically ironic stories in South African history. Quite busy.
I was just thinking it's quite
Glasses. Don't always want to go on a walk, no. Oh, I thought it was 8Ks.
What, to the point?
Yeah. But interestingly enough, in the 1980s, people on this beach here in front of us were finding lots of remains of porcelain plates and other things being washed up onto the beach, and that was actually still remains from that São Gonçalo ship. And if you go to the municipal building in the reception area, there's actually a reconstruction of one of these plates, and yeah, it's a really cool thing to go and check out. It's open to the public. You can just walk in there and check it out for yourself. Ja, so is die perfecte dag. So the name Robberg, if you directly translate it from Afrikaans, just means seal mountain, which basically that's what it is. There's a really big seal colony that lives here on Robberg itself, and because of that, there are oftentimes a lot of great white sightings in this area, and Robberg is often touted as one of the best areas in South Africa to actually see great whites directly from land. And the Plet shark spotters actually use this to their advantage, often having shark spotters posted in specific places on Robberg, keeping an eye out for great white sharks to try and keep the local public safe, which is a very good initiative. And the great white sightings in Plet and most of South Africa has actually dropped off dramatically. There are quite a few factors ranging from predation by orcas and also a lot of overfishing in areas. And because great whites are actually a pelagic species, we don't actually know that much about them. So there's actually a lot of different things that could affect their normal patterns. Let's find out. Okay. So one of the things you'll notice in this video is I was using different camera angle. It was actually attached to my bag. So you'll see my beard poking in the corner every now and then. Don't think it's a camera angle I'll use again, but yeah, it was fun to try it out. Another thing you'll notice is a lot of sniffing from me. Sorry about that, I think I had a bit of a cold. I did my best to edit out the most annoying ones. So one thing I've heard a couple times about Robberg is that people think it's quite unsafe because there is a lot of exposure to sheer cliffs and stuff. I don't necessarily agree with this view. I think Robberg's quite safe and there are railings in place where it is necessary, but I do sympathize with the notion because there are some spots where it is quite exposed, but all the necessary signage and stuff is there to warn you about the dangerous parts. But I must say, going back on this footage, the lens of the GoPro definitely doesn't help. It makes it seem a lot more exposed than what it actually is. Do you think they should get a short person to come set up the steps?
Yeah.
Are they a bit too big for you?
I don't know how Maya gets up.
This one's super big. They should make 2 sets. One for tall people, one for short people.
I'm not even short though. So
Yeah, it's true.
you just got a giantess in this.
Hi. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good.
I wish we had euros.
Ja. Sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ja, maar waar sê jy? Sê weer?
Niet ja.
Kan ek net hier ingooi?
Ja.
Net wil die water eers doen.
No.
So since I've become a professional trails guide, I've really started to try and slow down on my hikes that I go on with Jessie. I've always been the really fast hiker guy at the front, and I think it always used to annoy her. Actually, I know it definitely always used to annoy her. But now I'm trying to slow down a little bit more, take longer breaks. So yeah, trying to embody that a little bit more. So we brought some lunch with and a little bit of tea so we could enjoy the spots and yeah, just take in a little bit more nature.
I remember that game that you used to play with the time, so I'm like, I wanted to ask you if time, and I wanted to say, crocodile, crocodile.
Crocodile, crocodile. Wolf, wolf. Wolf, wolf, hoe laat is dit? Dis etenstyd. Van waar af kom hierdie oudjies, weet jy?
It's seeds.
Yeah, I know it's seeds, but you find them all over the beach and stuff.
Yeah. They come from the trees.
Comes from the trees. We don't know which trees. Oh, he's attached here.
Comes from this tree. You'll be pleased to know.
Pleased to know. I thought he was just stuck there.
For sure.
So got a very, smells like, oh, this is a different one. Smells like sunscreen.
That would be you.
Yeah, this is the one. It looks like Sasha. Sounds like it. Smells like a great time too.
They probably don't think it's stinky.
Yeah. So those funny noises you've just heard is actually the Cape fur seal colony. At this moment in time, they have a very healthy population, but that wasn't always the case. In the 1860s, one of South Africa's most well-known pass builders, Sir Thomas Bain, started construction on the Prince Alfred's Pass. And the common practice for pass builders in those times were to use criminals to help build the passes. But the major problem at that point was, what exactly do you feed those criminals? And the answer they came up with was seal meat. So during that time, the population of this colony really plummeted as more and more seals were being hunted to feed these people building the pass. But luckily, due to a ban on all seal hunting and some good conservation efforts, the population is healthy at this point in time. Oh, what is that? Every time. Yeah, it's also not great in sandals. Isn't that ironic?
Because it's the sandals.
Yeah.
They let the sand in.
You think that's why they're called sandals?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
This is the part where you have to run.
Run up.
Otherwise you can't get up.
Okay, you're gonna show us.
Yeah.
I follow.
Oh, run it. There's no stairs to
Oh,
propel
okay,
it.
okay.
Now you go.
You go. Oh, fuck. Ah, Jesus. So let's talk a little bit more about the hiking aspects of Robberg. So both Jesse and I agree that it's a moderately difficult hike. It's not extremely difficult, but it's also definitely not easy. We both think if you really want to enjoy it, you need to have like a moderate amount of fitness. And the full walk that goes around the entire peninsula is only around about 9.2 k's, so it's not very far. But the thing that catches people off guard very often is the fact that it is quite technical in some bits, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later.
It depends on the wind.
Aan die ander kant.
Yes, they're on there. Is that the seal swimmers?
He must be. Well, be fast. Who are you?
Gecko's feet.
Okay. You don't want to go to the... It's actually quite... Oh, you want sun. Yeah, it's nice here. It's not too hot.
Because it's the breeze.
Yeah.
Dude, you get
I don't think they'll attack us. You think so?
No. Thank you.
Do you think something like this would just be nice at home? Because right now it tastes real good. Huh?
Blood.
You see a whale?
For blood.
So like I mentioned before, there are certain places where Robberg is a little bit technical. There isn't a super clear path and there's a little bit of bouldering involved. All the necessary signs are there so that you can find your way, but you will have to do some scrambling to get there. Which climb is worse, the first one or this one?
These stairs are the worst of it.
It's like you're going to remember when we do Robberg again. Sorry, as the not locals would say, the Robberg. That's definitely going in the video. So this small little rodent-like guy is called a dussie or a rock hyrax, and it is actually the African elephant's closest living relative. True story. You know? I think this might be the first time I've come past here and somebody's actually staying here. Do you know how much it costs?
No, not at all.
So that building you just saw is called the Fountain Shack, and it's basically accommodation on Robberg that you book via the Cape Nature website, and then you get to go and stay there and experience Robberg all by yourself after everybody has left the reserve. The shack is pretty much booked out on weekends years in advance. Every now and then you can find an open spot during a weekday, but you really need to jump on those pretty quickly. We'll put all the links in the description for all these places. Huh? You don't want to go up? Okay. We won't go up.
My legs are so shaky.
Are they?
Yeah.
You need a boost up?
Yeah, just behind me just in case.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Spider Woman.
You need a boost up?
How are you going to boost me up?
Hey, give me my hand.
That's okay.
Well, you just like do a little step and you're up.
Yep. Yeah.
The pressure
Okay.
is
Is it dry?
yeah. Yeah. You can see there's water that comes down here.
Okay.
And then you have to dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole. Usually there.
Should we try it?
And then it fills up. I don't know if it'll work though. It looks quite dry. Let me see if it's coming elsewhere.
So the spot JC is actually showing me now is a freshwater spring. And Robberg is actually very well known for freshwater springs, as many of the indigenous tribes back in the day used to utilize a lot of them, as well as the Griqua people later on when they moved close to the Robberg area.
We used to come dig a hole and then go down the beach and then come back.
Okay, it's getting there. Kind of stop now. Drink it?
No, that's going to be sandy. Taste it, it's really not that, it's not that salty. Well, with that hand, it's really, use that hand.
Tastes like barbecue, rice cakes, and sunscreen. Not great. But this is, what's this thing? Not salt
I don't know
water.
if this is salt water. You just went right in.
Salt water. So all in all, Robberg is one of the best hiking spots in the country, and it's very well maintained, and there's something for everyone. You can either do the full walk, or you can do a half one, or even a shorter one. There's the island that you can go to as well. There's lots of other little nooks and crannies to explore. There's beautiful beaches where you can swim as well. Or even for those who really enjoy trail running, it's a really good option for that too. Well, I'm going to have a swim.
Are you?
Yeah.
That corner and
Yeah.
that corner are my favourite swim spots on Robberg.
That corner and that corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to that one.
It looks so pretty there, but I'm not going
It's unfortunately at this point that my GoPro started giving me lots of problems. I really have a love-hate relationship with the thing, but needless to say, unfortunately we didn't make it all the way back to the car park, but we showed you all the bits that we wanted to show. So thanks for joining us in another one. Please let us know in the comments below if there's anything else you want us to see or want us to do. And once again, we'll leave all the important details in the description below. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.